I'm going to kick off with, in general, would you consider yourselves rule followers or rule breakers?
Ooh. Depends on the circumstance.
The ego wants to say I'm a rule breaker, right?
I'm certainly a rule questioner.
Like authority.
Yeah.
I definitely question authority.
Okay.
I want to know why a rule is there. When a rule is there and it's like, it's this, and you go, yeah, but how come? And they go, because it is, that's just the rule. Yeah. I'm like, no, I don't buy that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely a rule questioner.
A rule questioner.
Yeah.
I don't think I mess with the rules too much. I'm rebellious in other ways than with the rules. So within that, maybe I will say rule follower, but my rebellion is more personal and not with the rules.
Okay.
That's what I will say.
And, Jed says early on the word flexible. So, rules, nothing's hard and fast. Yeah. Use them when you use them, throw them out when you don't need them.
Breakers, for sure. I don't have to think about that one. When it comes to what we're doing in the SEAL teams, to what we're doing now, breaking rules, pushing boundaries as far as what you should do to make television that falls into a certain model. What I did with the books, what I did looking at the landscape of publishing in general when I stepped into that space from the military. It's all about adapting to a changing environment, capitalizing on momentum, looking for gaps in the enemy's defenses, all of those things. But the rule followers tend, in my opinion, to not be those that move the ball forward. They might maintain a defensive line, but not move that ball down the field.
Rule breaker all day. For sure.
Rule breaker.
That was a tight answer. Man, I really took that literally. We talked about keeping it short. Yeah. Man.
This series is full of characters who are willing to make great sacrifices for each other. And I'm wondering, what is the greatest sacrifice either you've made for someone or someone has made for you that you're willing to share?
Yeah, so going back to tying in with the rule breaker question, I'm very much a rule breaker, and got in a lot of trouble in the military. And I had not once but twice got in trouble, lost rank, kicked out of the SEAL teams, this whole thing. And I had a Master Chief Harold Underdown, that went to bat for me both times, brought me back, kept me in the SEAL teams, and took a risk on me when he had no reason to take a risk on me. And that changed the entire course of my life. It's the only reason I'm sitting here right now, is from that fella right there, and him taking a risk with his name and who he was on me. And he was able to come to the premiere last night, which was amazing. He saw the young me that always got in trouble, and we lost ways and then reconnected, and he got to come to the premiere. So that was a very special moment and opportunity.
Yeah, when it comes to risk, my publisher took a risk on me as a complete unknown. Chris Pratt took a risk on by optioning this book. MRC, Amazon took risks, and then allowed us to take risks in that first season, which really allowed us more freedom in moving into Dark Wolf and the second season called True Believer. So, risk-taking seems to be a theme in the series.
Dave, you got one?
It's hard to be the civilian with two Navy SEAL friends and executives.
I was also going to ask about dangerous situations if you want to answer that.
I was just gonna try to be really quiet on.
One time I didn't have a dessert.
Exactly.
It was really big. It was a nice dinner.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, been cutting carbs.
I really feel like I should have.
Cutting carbs to get ready for this one.
Said it wasn't time.
It's a big time.
This man sacrifices all his sleep and free time for our team and this show and everything to lead from the front and run it and keep it going. He truly gives everything he has to turn this into what it has been turned into. He never takes breaks, doesn't take time off. He sacrifices everything, and I'm sure his family would tell you the same thing. He gives all to it.
Yeah, thank you, Jared. I was gonna offer up a similar answer, which is the sacrifice that is put into making these shows by the crew and cast. These shows are massive. We are truly making huge cinematic movie level set pieces, visuals. We shoot this thing studio mode, big grip and electric, massive amount of craftsmen and craftswomen putting everything on the line to get these shows. And so I really appreciate what they bring.
Well, I'm married, so every day is a sacrifice.
Yeah. Listen, I this is going to sound like a really wet answer here, but I've got kids, right? And I think what my wife had to go through having our babies was like the biggest sacrifice of her own body to go through that and do that. And I think what women do to have babies is like way more crazy than I ever realized before having a baby. And I think what Laura, my wife, did and to raise our children, to put her own life on hold to do that, that's probably the biggest sacrifice ever been made for me.
Yeah, my wife's the same. My wife has spent the last 15 years being a mother, and to the detriment of her entire career. You know, her identity is defined by these kids. Well, that's how she feels sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a good thing. Like this, it's beautiful. You've raised beautiful kids, but I understand how much of a sacrifice that is. That she's given up so much to make these kids and me happy. To,
Yeah.
survive.